party people. Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, an RPG podcast built for two. I am your host, as always, Jeff Stormer. This week I'm joined by Nick Murphy from the Continue Show for a game of Scarlet Heroes by Kevin Crawford. Continue's a fantastic YouTube channel where Nick, alongside Paul Ritchie, Josh Henderson, and Dom Machidi, play video games and crack wise. It's frankly hilarious. I've been a fan for a very long time, and I'm super excited to have Nick on the show. Especially since, as he mentions in the episode, he's never played a tabletop RPG before. Playing with new players is one of my favorite things in the world, and I think you can tell how excited I am in the episode itself. A link to Continue on YouTube can be found in the show notes. Scarlet Heroes, the game we're playing this week, is a fantastic old-school D&D hack designed for a single epic hero. If you're interested in duet play and you enjoy the classic sword and sorcery style of D&D, I think this is the game for you. We featured it on the show before, and it's definitely a game you'll see again, because I love it. I think it's perfect for this, and it's honestly one of the shows that really inspired this podcast. I love it to death. I'm going to stop rambling about it, and so let's throw it over to me in the past, so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me.
Thanks, Future Me. This week I am joined by Nick Murphy from the Continue Show. Nick, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm great. How are you today?
I'm doing really, really well. Alright, so let's talk about what you've got going on up top, right at the top of the show. Why don't you introduce yourself and go over the various things people might know you from?
Sure, yeah. My name is Nick Murphy. I'm a filmmaker from Philadelphia. I guess probably one thing that everybody would most know me from, I do a web show called Continue. It's like Mystery Science Theater, but with video games. And so you can find us at Continue Show on Twitter and on YouTube, we're Continue Show. And then, I just make films and do a whole bunch of random stuff.
Now, you also worked on, I hope you worked on, because I know if you didn't, I'm not editing this out. You also worked on Spooky Squad, right?
Yeah, so,
yes.
So we did a pilot for Disney XD called Spooky Squad. I co-directed it with Paul Ritchie, who's on the show with me. And, it was awesome. It was like a lot of fun. I want to do more things like that.
We had Ian Vaffler on the show a few months ago, and he was talking. He talked a great deal about how much fun that was. So I was
I want more opportunities like that. I want more things where we can obviously get paid to do things we love, but just make stuff all the time. It's just such a fun part of what we do, and the filmmaking process is so long and drawn out that the best part is the really short production time. It's I feel like it's all this lead time up to it. Short production time, and then long post-production time. So it's I want more of the production time.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
That you've described the Party of One podcast almost to a T. It's picking out games and emailing and scheduling things, and then I get that hour where I'm we're playing a game. And then afterwards it's editing.
Yeah, all the tedium afterwards.
Yeah. So speaking of games, let's play a game.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we are playing Scarlet Heroes this week. We played it again before on the show. It is a fan favorite. It's returning, making a big return. It's kind of just classic sword and sorcery, Dungeons and Dragons
with or without Scarlet Fever.
I mean,
who
knows?
We could run into it.
The day is young. I mean, I'm not going to write anything off just yet. So yeah, but the main thing that sets Scarlet Heroes apart is it's specifically designed for this kind of format with one player, one GM. So it works really well. I love it. At this point, it might be my favorite game, so I'm really excited to play.
Cool.
So with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into character creation.
Okay.
We're going to take it a step at a time, just nice and easy. First thing I want you to talk about with you is see if you had an idea for a class, because I feel like that informs a lot of the other decisions that we're going to make.
Yeah, looking through the rulebook, I liked Human Warrior, just because hitting things was a lot of fun, and I figured I'm most familiar with human, so I'll go with that.
Human warrior is always good. So so you're going to be a human warrior. So that informs the next part, which is going to be rolling up your actual abilities.
Okay.
So the way that you're going to do that is you're going to take 4 6-sided dice.
Okay.
You're going to roll them. You're going to drop the lowest score, and then add the other 3 together.
Drop the lowest.
46.
4. Okay, drop the lowest, and add these, so 12, 15.
15, okay. So you're going to write that off to the side, because you're going to do that 5 more times, and then you're going to assign those to your various stats as you would.
Gotcha. Oh, so what do I do here? I got 2 4s.
Drop one of
them. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's 10, 15 again. Oh, that roll sucked. 7... 2, jeez. 10? 4 times, right?
6 times.
6 times?
Yeah.
Oh, man. This is the part of the show where you're like, can my guest count properly?
Oh,
12 on
trust
that
me,
one?
it's normally me where I'm
That
like...
one's gone forever. That
Yep,
guy's gone.
that one's dead. Normally it's me where I'm like, oh my god, I'm supposed to be hosting the show, and numbers
I
and
hope people don't
confuse me.
realize I made it through life without being able to count properly. Cool, so that's 6 times. 15, 15, 7, 10, 12, and 12.
Okay, so one of the rules in Scarlet Heroes is if you don't roll under a 16, you can change one number of your choice to a 16. So you can change that 7 to a 16.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, because you're supposed to be exceptional at least one thing.
Gotcha.
So
What's in it? So 16 is an exceptional score?
Yeah, it's the way that the bonus is a 16 is going to get you a +2. So every time you make a roll with that ability, you're going to add 2 to it.
Okay.
And then 13 to 15 is +1, and all of your other abilities are +0.
Okay, cool.
So what do you want your highest ability to be? You probably want it to be either strength, dexterity, or constitution, just depending on what kind of fighter you think you want to be.
My guess is strength. If a warrior, I would say probably so. Let's do 16 strength.
Okay, and then you can write next to that like +3, or +2, so you remember it.
Okay.
Like I said, it depends on what kind of fighter. Do you want to be just like a berserker type guy, or more of like a not quite like a paladin but without the magic?
Yeah, I guess like cunning warrior would be like intelligence or dexterity kind of thing.
Yeah. So
do 15 intelligence and then 15 dexterity. I guess
that works. Yep. And so those are both going to be +1, and we'll cover that more when we actually start rolling the dice.
Okay.
And then everything else you can just assign the 12s and 10 how you would, but they're all going to be +0. So your bonuses are all 0.
So how far down do I go? Charisma?
Yeah. Charisma.
So Constitution, Wisdom, and Charisma.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I need to be super charming. So Constitution's like
how tough you are. How good a punch you can take.
Okay.
And then
how well you can fight like a common
And then
cold.
Wisdom is like your knowledge of like the divine and also like your senses.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, let's go for that, and then let's do 10 charisma. Okay. So these 12s are going to get +1 as well.
They're all +0. 12s and 10s.
+0. Okay.
So now that we've got that, and we've chosen your class, you're going to write down a few things, and I'm going to tell you just what they're writing down right now.
Okay.
So you're a fighter. You're going to write down 8 hit points where you have the HP there.
Okay.
I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's good because the average attack in Scarlet Heroes does like 1 to 2 damage.
Okay.
So you can take a good number of blows.
Gotcha.
Your starting attack bonus, which should be right under that, is +1.
+1. Okay.
And your Fray dice is a it's a D8. You have 1D8 Fray dice. What a Fray dice is, the best way I have to explain it is, you know the video game Dynasty Warriors?
No.
Do you know, like side-scrolling beat-em-up games?
Yeah.
You know how there's the mini-boss, and then there's just the guys that you get the 2 hits off and they go down?
Yeah.
Those are the guys that you're going to use your Fray dice on. They just represent the sheer act of mowing down, like, minions.
Okay.
So, like, the lower level guys, you just
plow through.
You just deal a certain amount of automatic damage to them that usually kills them.
That's cool. Oh, that's awesome.
So you're
kind of like in Earthbound when you just get to a certain level, you just start, like, plowing through those random
Yeah. Exactly like
cool.
that. Yeah. Let's see what else I write down. I think that's it for...
I have, like, armor class here.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we buy equipment. I think the next thing we're going to do is pick out some traits.
Okay.
So traits are like kind of like skills, but they're very like broad.
Okay.
So they're kind of like backgrounds that you can use as skills in a variety of different situations. Like, for instance, if you wanted to be a sailor, you could just put sailor as one, and then that would fill in anything,
like anytime
you wanted to do something sailor themed, then you would add that bonus to it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you get 3 points in that. So let me ask you. So the question I'm going to ask you to start filling that in is, where do you think your warrior got his training from?
He probably got it, I would say, in like a prison fighting pit.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, so put down like prison pit fighter. Yeah, that's perfect.
Right.
And then in situations where like that background could come in handy, for instance, being like big and scary and intimidating someone, you could add points to that.
That's cool. Okay.
So stuff like that, you have 3 points to fill in. You can put all 3 into prison pit fighter, or if you have like another part aspect to a background. Or you can there's also a table you can choose to roll on.
Okay, let me put in architecture aficionado, maybe.
Okay, that's cool. I like that.
I figure a lot of time in prison, you're going to, like, appreciate walls and stuff.
Right, that's interesting.
I forget that spell, architect and aficionado.
Yeah, you chose 2 very elaborate words for just, like, marking them down in notes. I commend you for that.
Yeah,
Mine
right?
are usually, like... Mine are usually like good eyes.
Runs fast, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I would say like one other thing would be just straight up good at everything. I'm just going to put that.
Yeah,
down.
that's fine. That's fair. That's perfect. Okay, so you have three. Like I said, you have 3 points. You can distribute them among those backgrounds as you would,
Okay.
or any way, in any number that you want.
I'm trying to. What would like a third trait be though? I think I need a third trait.
Either a thing from your back or here. I'm gonna roll.
All right.
There's a 100-point roll thing that I'm gonna roll on.
You just give me like a random kind of feel for.
Yeah, it's gonna be an innate quality, just something about you that is you're naturally good at. 33. 33. You are hard to intoxicate.
All right. That actually goes with everything.
It does go with everything. Yeah, I like that a lot. That worked out well. I am a man that will always roll on a table. I love it. Unless I absolutely have an idea in mind.
Yeah.
The second I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm rolling.
I was like, you know what? I could probably think of something funny that would be like a weird thing that might come in handy, but I was like, let's just go regular.
Okay.
Intoxicate.
So,
all right.
So, in addition to the 3 points that you can distribute, you actually get 5 because you're a person, you're a human.
Okay.
But and you can distribute them among those 3 traits to a maximum of 3 points in one trait. So you can do 3, 1, 1. You can do 2, 2, and 1.
I feel like prison fight is going to be really important. Let's do 3, 1, 1.
Okay. So my question, as I'm sort of like thinking things through in my head, is at the start of the adventure, is your character still in prison? Has he been let out on good terms, or is he on the run?
I feel like he'd be out on good terms.
Okay.
I feel like he got like, some college work done with that architecture degree.
I like that a lot. That's interesting. Yeah, okay. That's awesome. Okay, so now what we're going to do, now that we've chosen your traits, the last thing that we're actually going to do for your character is you're going to buy some equipment. So I've got my computer here.
Okay.
Some equipment lists.
Cool.
Roll me 3d6.
3... Wait, what? 3...
6-sided dice.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And then multiply that number by 10.
8, 9. Multiply by what?
10.
10, 90.
Okay. So what I'm going to give you, I'm going to hand off my computer.
Okay.
And you're just going to go crazy on this page and the next page. There's some weapons, armor, and stuff.
Okay.
So feel free to just go up and down. And there's weapons and armor on one page, and stuff is on the next page. And you have 90 gold to spend.
Wow, okay, cool.
And you can buy any weapon. You, as a fighter, can buy any weapons, armor, etc. that you want to use.
Okay, cool. Can I do 2 one-handed weapons? Or is it more like one-handed and one shield kind of thing?
You can do... I'd say I have no problem doing 2 one-handed weapons.
Okay.
If you want to do 2 one-handed weapons. And then you can either hand wave it as the extra large one and just pay, I think, a little less, or just roll the 2d8 and make 2 attacks.
Oh man, you can hire people and stuff? That's cool. Do one-handed, 15 GP. Do leather armor, I guess. I'm trying to be conservative with this money.
For fiscal management is an important part of our podcast lifestyle.
I feel like it's got to be. You got to be responsible. You can't just get what you want all the time.
We're adults.
Yeah, exactly.
We say as we're rolling up dice for our nerd games.
I know, right? Oh man, horses are expensive.
Yes.
Common clothes. Let's do these artisan tools.
Those artisan tools will give you a +1 bonus to a skill-related thing to whatever trade, which I assume is probably architectural engineering because you're an architecture guy.
I love it. That's perfect.
So it's like a scale. It's like scales and compasses and things.
So these hirelings, you think I should get one of them? Are they good to get, or you got to pay per day?
You got to pay per day. Yeah, it's a lot. It's expensive. That's a good thing to buy later on when you kind of have, when you've gotten some riches of treasures from beyond.
I mean, some of these guys are silver pieces, so they're relatively cheap.
Yes.
Is that a leather armor? I'm gonna do scale armor, and let's buy a shield. Okay, cool. That's my 90.
All right. So the last thing that there's two things. One of them is writing down your armor class, and the other thing is we're going to talk about what your goal is, what your life's goal is as this character.
Okay,
You should
cool.
give him some kind of a name.
I'm going to call him Lothorpe.
Lothorpe. I dig that. All about Lothorpe.
Yeah, right?
All right.
I'm going to see what's up with Lothorpe's life.
So, let me ask you, so first and foremost, since you have scale armor and a shield, you're going to write down your armor class is 5.
Okay.
Yeah. So, let me ask you, now that he's out of... Actually, first off, what did Lothorpe go to prison for?
Well, I feel like because of his like architectural interest, I would say like copy fraud.
Okay.
Some kind of thing where he like falsified blueprints or something.
Sure. That makes
So it's kind of like a white collar. Well, he went in for kind of like a white collar crime, but got like
came out.
really hard on the inside. You know?
It changed him.
Yeah. He,
Yeah,
like,
all right.
Someone gave him the advice of just like, hey, you got to find like the biggest dude there and take him down. And then he was like, whoa, I like this a lot.
Yeah, okay. I like that. He looked into the shadow a little too long and looked back at him.
He came out a different man. It happens. It's a sad state of affairs for prison systems.
It is the prison systems of the fantasy world.
The privatized prison systems of the fantasy world.
Tragic. So my question is, now that he's out, what is Lothorpe after? What is he looking for in his life?
I feel like he wants revenge for the guy that put him in there.
Okay.
I feel like that's like an automatic thing. Like he's got a lot of bad feelings for getting caught.
That's perfect. And I think with that, we are ready to go.
Cool.
So we begin. Where would Lothorpe find himself on like an average night, like a night on the town almost? Like he's not adventuring at the moment. He's not doing anything dangerous. Where's he unwinding?
See, I want to say like a tavern, but like the hard to intoxicate thing just sounds like a money sink for him. So I feel like he would, in order to keep body mass, he would be eating and like accumulating mass that way.
Okay, yeah,
like a fantasy gym.
Like a gym, a gym / buffet.
Yeah, exactly.
Buffet gym, yeah. It's my new business model. Fuck podcasts, I'm done.
Yeah, forget it.
So we're at this gym buffet, and there's just long table of food with the little like steam trays, and people just pumping weights around him. Lothorpe is deep into his workout routine when he puts down the weights after one rep, and he looks up, and there is a man in very official clothing, a dark-skinned man, gray, like white hair, dark skin, and he's wearing like a noble's clothing, and he's just like, "Are you the one they call Lothorpe?"
I'm gonna say yeah. I think Lothorpe will respond with, "Who wants to know?"
A man with a potentially promising business proposition, and also an opportunity for you to potentially save the life of someone that you have very complicated feelings for, or with, or of, about.
I think you gained Lothorpe's attention.
So, have you heard anything of the Mystery City?
No. I'm intrigued.
A few months ago, outside of the town of AG, a city appeared. Overnight.
Okay.
Hence the term the Mystery City, because it's a bit of a mystery. We don't know where it came from, we don't know who built it or what it's doing there, but it seems to be getting bigger and bigger, and we are honestly a little worried about it. We need someone to go in to the heart of the city, figure out what's behind it, and if there's a way to make it go away. Because it's eating up our land, it's trapping people. People are becoming prisoners to this endless maze of a city. And the reason we want you to do it is that the MacGuffin prison complex is right in the heart of where the city appeared. Which means that Warden Okinawa is still inside.
I love it. As an architecture aficionado, I think Lothorpe would be very intrigued and would like to pursue this.
Wonderful. We can give you a horse. We can send you on your way. We just ask that you make your way. We ask that you make your way back here alive. If you can bring back anyone, people wise, if you can make the city go away, those are all bonuses. But just give us answers. We want to know what we're dealing with before we commit any sort of a military presence.
Okay. Do I get to keep the horse after the job's complete?
We can negotiate. We would certainly be open to negotiating that after the fact.
Okay. I'd like something in writing just to solidify this.
Okay. Let's go ahead and make a roll about this.
Okay.
Roll me, you're gonna roll me For Scarlet Heroes, you're going to roll 2d8. It's these two right here.
Okay.
Because those are the only the 8-sided dice that I have.
All right.
All of the other ones keep vanishing. And you're going to add any of your traits that you think would apply to this negotiation, as well as your charisma.
Well, I feel like prison pit fighter is going to be a very intimidating kind of thing.
Okay.
And with the architecture aficionado, I feel like that's kind of like an analytical kind of trait.
Okay. So it's one trait, so you can add your prison pit fighter since that's the higher one.
Okay.
So it's one trait plus your ability bonus plus the 2d8.
So I got 8, and my 3 is 11.
Okay. Yeah. He what happens is you get real up in his face after you you drop the thing, so that makes a big clang, and you get up in his face, and he's just like, I think that we would be more than open if you wish to keep the horse. That consider it a gift from my benefactors. Good day. And he's just gone.
And there's pieces out.
Man-shaped smoke appears, and he's just like, oh, he's gone now.
I love it. I'm down.
All right. So it's about a 3-day trip by horse.
Okay.
It's about a 9-day trip by foot.
Do I need to prepare any provisions beforehand? From our buffet or anything?
I mean, you can enjoy the buffet. If you paid, you may as well eat your fill. I don't want you to have to, feel like you're getting lost on the buffet. No, rations are provided for you. They provide you with the horse and enough rations for a 3-day trip.
Okay, cool.
So what I'm going to do is roll 3 dice just to see if anything pops up along the way. No, you're good. So the trip's fairly uneventful.
Okay.
What you find is a lot of people... You're going towards the Mystery City. You keep passing people on horses and carriages and things going away from it. And they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you you stop and you corral with people and they're like, why don't go back?
Yeah. Okay, cool.
What happens is you do encounter one person, who is just bolting down on a horse, and he nearly collides with you to the point that you both kind of have to stop and acknowledge each other.
Okay.
And he is just sobbing, and he's like, I don't know if you know what's in that direction, but it's the Mystery City. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, perfect. All right, good.
Good. What do you mean good? It's the mystery. Have you heard of it?
That's where I'm headed. I'm headed to the Mystery City.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for your loved ones.
I laugh in his face.
There are things. I just know that there are things there that are not from this world.
Like what?
Horrors, nightmares, I don't know what you would call them. Things. I guess the things that are responsible for the city, but I can't. If I were a poet, perhaps I would find words terrible enough to describe the things that I found there.
Okay.
All you need to know is, and then he's all man and horse-shaped smoke.
People move really fast around here. I like it.
They do. It's an interesting power that people seem to have. So you continue on your way. You arrive out at the outskirts of this, it's exactly how people have been describing it, where you can see, the city walls. And they're roughly circular, but there's bits that, jag out in various, geometric ways. Various zigzaggy ways.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see buildings of shapes that don't make sense.
Okay.
So you're kind of on a cliff overlooking them as the sun goes down on the 3rd day of travel.
Okay.
Do you want to go right in, or do you want to wait, set up camp and sort of hang tight?
That guy kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies, so I think I'm going to set up camp.
Okay.
Wait for morning.
Okay.
And then attack with a fresh day ahead of us.
Okay. So you set up camp. It's an uneventful night. You sleep well, considering that you're sleeping on dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Though I guess it feels like the warm beds of prison, so you're probably fine with
I'm
it.
used to it.
Oh, your soul is so cold. So you wake up, and you look around, and you start to realize that what was, the woods on the outskirts of the Mystery City is now not the heart of the Mystery City, but certainly within its walls. It's come around you.
That's nuts. Okay. So I wake up in the city.
Yeah. You wake up in the middle of the road.
Okay.
In the city.
Okay.
So what's and like I said, you're on a okay. I just realized I didn't say any of this, but okay, here's the situation.
Sure.
You're on a big street, about 10-15 foot street.
Okay.
There are buildings on both sides of you that don't have any real they're not square buildings. They're sort of various polygon shapes that don't fit together.
Okay.
And then the road winds around you, and there's sort of this big sprawling mess of angles and materials that are not of this world.
Okay.
So go ahead and make me a wisdom roll.
Okay.
Or intelligence. Make me intelligence plus architecture.
Okay. What do I do?
The 2d8, yeah.
2d8, okay.
Yeah. Make me a skill roll.
210. Wait, which one did you say?
Intelligence, and then your architecture aficionado.
So 10 plus 1 here, plus another
12.
12.
Okay, so you can ask me 2 questions, like, about your surroundings as you kind of study the architecture and get a sense of, like, what it's made out of, like, the angles that things are built and that kind of thing.
From my, like, cliff vantage point from before, was I able to see, like, any kind of, like, centerpiece or anything?
Yes, you did see there was a very big spire, like, a few miles in from where it was last night. Now it seems, so I guess it's still a few miles away.
Okay.
But you did see, like, a center spire that was, like, sort of crystalline.
Okay. Is it still visible, or
yeah,
like,
yeah,
the
you
buildings...
can see it. Yeah, the buildings have like a lot of it's blocked out, but it's a very big spire, so you can kind of see it up above.
Okay. Nothing's, like, currently moving, right? Like, nothing is, like, the walls aren't, like, amorphous or anything. They have, like, rigidity to them, and...
Things are fairly rigid. You do kind of... you don't see it, but you almost kind of feel, like, a pulsing once in a while.
Okay, interesting.
Like things feel vaguely disorienting, almost like you have, like, a vertigo or you're dizzy. Or this is what people describe when you think that they're talking about being drunk, even though you've never quite felt it yourself.
Okay, cool. And nobody's around, right? Like, it's completely unoccupied from the time.
Yeah.
Being. Okay.
Well, as you think that, and as you look around, you hear, like, the beating of insectile wings from the distance, as well as screams coming to, like, humanoid screams, and then coming from above them, you hear, like, insectile wings flapping coming in your direction from, like, the south.
Okay. I think I'd like to head toward the spire. That's kind of the best.
So that's to the north. So you're moving in the opposite direction. Let's see if you are noticed by anything as you sort of make your way.
Okay.
So make me a skill roll, yeah. And then add your dexterity.
5 and 6.
Plus a skill if you think that any of your skills apply. I don't know if they do or not.
Probably not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you are making your way through, you're staying on the road when you hear more of those, like, when you hear stone cracking to the left, and you look, and there's a thing that has started to peer around a corner.
Okay.
And you lock eyes with it, just as we go into our first combat.
Okay.
With a thing. Okay, so what I'm going to need you to do, actually, since you are the hero, heroes always go first in Scarlet Heroes.
Okay.
So you get to make the first move. It's about, like, 30 feet away, so you can get to it and attack it in your turn. You can try to move in the other direction to sort of take cover or hide from it.
Okay.
You can try to talk to it, whatever you want to do.
I feel like I'd like to try to, like, call it out, like, almost like intimidate it first.
Okay.
Before kind of jumping into an attack.
Okay. So make me so that's going to be a skill roll.
Okay.
With your charisma and your pit fighter.
Okay.
So those are your 2d8s, yeah.
6, 7, 13, plus 0, plus 3, 16.
Okay. So you, so what do you say to it that draws it out of hiding and you guys have, like, a stare down, like a UFC
it's
weigh-in?
Just kind of like a, hey, get out here.
Alright. So, yeah, like I said, it's this big thing. It's probably, like, 8, 9, 10 feet tall, but it's, like, hunched over. It's insectoid is the best way to describe it. It has tiny little wings that don't look like it would be able to fly itself.
Right.
But it looks like at one point it probably could have carried itself on those wings.
Okay.
It's kind of, like, moving in a way that suggests that it doesn't have, like, that it's operating with some sort of exoskeleton instead of a body.
Okay.
And it's got 2 long arms that are almost too long.
Okay.
But they don't make sense with the rest of its body.
Gotcha.
And it's like, now it's like standing in the road, and it's just staring at you, waiting for you to make the next move. But it clearly, if it doesn't fear you, it respects you.
Okay.
For, like, standing up to it.
Okay.
So what's your next move?
I'm gonna give him, like, a little fake out, like I'm gonna attack.
Okay.
Just to see if he kind of flinches or moves.
Okay. So make me another skill roll, exactly the same, so plus 3. And this one's gonna be a little easier because you've already kind of psyched them out.
15 plus 3, 18.
Okay, yeah. So you do that, and, like, literally, like, this giant 10-foot thing flinches a little bit, and then it leans in close, and it's like, you are a mighty fighter. I respect you. You stand up against those that are larger than you. You would do well in the pits.
All right.
Would you like to come? Would you like to prove your worthiness
Oh man,
and impress the elders?
I feel like to get to the bottom of this, I'm gonna have to change some minds.
Okay.
And impress some people.
Okay. So what happens is it like scoops you up and it's holding you like a baby as it like moves through the streets. And a few other of these like insectoid horror things peek around and they're like, who is this?
Yeah.
This is a fighter for the pits. And they're all like, pits, and they're really into it.
Okay.
And it carries you to what is obviously, like, what is very familiar to you.
Okay.
This is something that brings back some real flashbacks of, like, a pit fighting ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they drop you off, you have all of your stuff.
Okay, cool.
And it's just like, bring out the champion! And this very fat, but like kingpin fat, where it's like muscle, where it's muscle fat, walks out and he's got like this beautifully braided beard.
Okay.
And he's got one eyebrow because the other one's like kind of like scarred off and burned off. And you recognize this man, this like corpulent beast of a man, as prison warden Okinawa.
Oh man.
And he's like, Lothor? Well, this is just like old times, isn't it? How did you get swept up into this?
Oh man, just hanging out and got here, man. I'm just on a quest to figure out what's up with this city.
Oh, they roped you into that too. That's alright. Well, you wouldn't be the first one, and I'm sorry to say that this might be where your quest ends, because the only reason they're keeping me alive is because I'm real good at this, and he starts to like crack his knuckles.
Okay.
And he gives you the get some taunt.
You get the old Morpheus. All right.
It is now your turn, your move to do whatever you would like.
Okay. I'd like to survey my surroundings. Like, what kind of pit are we talking?
It's like a dirt. It's not like a proper pit. It's sort of just like markings in the dirt.
Okay.
Like the it's a ring about.
So it's not like Star Wars Episode 2.
No. It's more like there's buildings that have formed around it in a circle. And and there's sort of like an 8-foot diameter circle.
Okay.
Or 8-foot radius circle. So it's like 16 feet in diameter.
Gotcha.
That's just been like pounded dirt sand.
Okay.
And there's like splatters of blood and stuff. Various weapons scattered about from fallen champions prior.
Okay.
And and he's like circling you like, let's go.
Okay.
Let's go. I know you've wanted to do this for a long time.
So we're like surrounded by buildings.
You're surrounded by buildings, and you see these things like looking out, being like, battle.
All right. I guess I gotta fight this guy to the death. There's kind of no going around it. All right, I guess we gotta do it. So what I would like to do is climb up one of the buildings.
Okay.
And like jump off.
Okay.
And try to stab in a downward stab motion at him.
Right. Okay. So what I'm going to ask of you is a dexterity plus your pit fighter roll, because this is a classic pit fighting stunt.
Okay.
What's the name of this classic pit fighting stunt? What do they call this? What do they call this in the circle?
I feel like this is the Lothorpe special.
Oh no,
I feel like this is kind of what I'm known for.
All right. Yeah. So he sees this and he's like, classic Lothor.
Oh no.
He gets ready to like punch you out. So like roll that.
Okay.
You're gonna want a 11 total plus your pit fighter and your dexterity.
11, dexterity 1, pit fighter 3, 14, 15.
So now you're gonna make your attack, and I'm gonna add. If successful, I'm gonna add some extra damage to that attack.
Okay.
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna roll this d20 right here.
Okay.
You're going to add your attack bonus, which is 1, as well as your strength, which is 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're going to roll all 3 of those and just tell me what you get, and then I'm going to add his armor. And if
so roll this and these?
Oh, no, just the d20.
Just this, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, 16, 17 attack bonus, and strength plus 2 would be 19.
Okay, yeah, so you successfully hit him, so now you're going to roll, what kind of weapon do you have?
I just did one hit, and I don't think we established what kind of...
Okay, yeah, so what kind of weapon are you carrying right now?
I would say some kind of sword.
Okay, so you got a one-handed sword. So, so you come down upon him, and he gets ready to, like, throw the punch, and you just, like, right into his chest, and he's, like, completely staggered. So what I'm going to ask of you is to roll those 2d8 again.
Okay.
And just tell me the numbers on each of those dice.
8 and 2.
Okay, so you see that little sidebar in the very corner where I said damage on your character sheet? All the way up top?
Yes, this damage. Okay.
So 8 is 6 through 9 is 2 points.
Yeah, 2 points.
And then 2 is 1. Okay, yeah. So he goes down hard.
Okay.
Like I said, right through the chest.
Yeah.
And he's like, kind of like, oh, classic Lothor. And he pulls you close. And he pulls you close with his dying breaths.
Okay.
And he says, I have 2 things to say to you. 1, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything that happened in there.
Oh, man.
2, if you don't want to take my place and be their champion forever, you're going to want to run for that spire now while they're celebrating.
Okay.
You've got a few minutes where they're going to be distracted and then they're going to be looking for you. But if you can get to that spire and you can smash one corner of it, the whole thing will go down.
Okay.
So you just need to sneak by them. I know I'm dying, and this is a lot of information to give you with my dying breath, but...
Well, these bug guys are, like, eating it up.
Yeah, they're going wild. They're,
this
like,
is
watching
like a ton
you,
of drama. Yeah,
they're like, this is great!
This is like a moment frozen in time for them.
Lothor! Yeah, so he's kind of, like, explaining the spire is unwieldy, so if you smash at one of the, like, 3 corners of it, the whole thing will tumble over. That's the problem with tripods, really.
Alright.
But once you do that, you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna want to run there, you're gonna want to run back even harder.
Yeah.
To get out of this.
Okay.
Because this city's coming down when that spire goes down.
I would say, great, thanks for the information. I'm gonna grab the warden and throw him in the opposite direction that I need to run.
Okay.
So, super
right.
body distraction, basically.
Yeah. I think that worked. I think it works perfectly. I think all of them are like freaking out. They're like, yeah.
Yeah, like they're gonna need, like, I'm gonna lift this dude up over my head and they're gonna be like, yeah. And launch him and then just take off running the other way.
Yeah. You totally pro wrestling it and the crowd blows up.
Dude, they're eating it up.
They gobble it all up. So they are distracted. So you can make a move. You make a move deeper into the city. As you're moving, the next thing that you run into is a group of, like, people that are like peeking out from hiding in various, like, little cubbies and things, and they're kind of like, are you friendly? Like, what's going on here? Can we trust you?
Right. Okay. I feel like I got, like, bloodlust now. I don't really have a lot of time. I feel like I gotta make... Can I just be like, no time to talk, gotta go to the spire?
Yeah, sure. All right. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so, like, you kind of push through one of them. You kind of push through them, you're like, no time to talk, and then one of them, like, a larger one of them, like, steps up, and he's like, no, you're gonna help us. You're the champion.
Okay.
So now they start to, like, 3 or 4, I'll say 3 of them circle you along with this larger fella.
Okay.
So, we're back into, like, a combat. Except, the first thing I'm going to want you to roll is roll 1d8 for your fray dice.
Okay.
This is what I was describing earlier.
6.
6 is 2 damage? Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, describe to me how you take out 2 of these four people immediately.
I'm just going to do, like, a straight shoulder height swipe across them.
Yeah, and they just all, like, 2 of them, like fly backwards. Yeah. You get a great reaction shot of 2 of them, like, hitting the ground.
Perfect.
And then, now you can roll your other attack with the 20-sided dice.
Okay. 10.
Okay. 10 plus, what is it? 10 plus your strength plus your base attack, so 13.
Okay.
13, you hit one of them. So go ahead and roll me that d8 of damage.
Okay. Just this. 2.
Okay. So you also take out that third one, so now there's just the big guy.
Okay.
And you can hear at the end of this, so he's going to make an attack on you, and then you can kind of hear the rabble dying down just a little bit as this big guy wants to sort of half prove himself, half avenge his friends, and half just, like, force you to help him, which is 3 halves. And that's how you know he's irrational.
Right.
He got a 12. Your armor class is 5. Okay, so he does not hit you. So he's, like, throwing haymakers, and you're ducking him because he's going wide.
Okay.
So now you can make your attack.
Yeah, let's swing back. We'll roll this 20. 17.
All right, roll me your damage. That definitely hits him.
Okay, and this one again?
Yeah, no, the D8. Yeah.
D8. 4.
He goes down.
All right, nice.
Yeah, you take him out as well. How do you take him down? Do you kill him? Do you just knock him out? What's the plan for this one?
I feel like these guys are. I feel like they're in the wrong mindset. I got shit to do, so I gotta go. So I'm just gonna knock this guy out and just keep on trucking.
Yeah, so you knock him in the gut. He goes down.
Yeah.
As you're running, you hear the things from behind you come upon their bodies, and you just hear screams and then silence.
I should have killed that guy and put him out of his misery.
Yeah, well, you made the choice, my friend. That was on you. So you make your way through. Roll me a check to make sure you're making progress towards the spire and not getting lost in this city that doesn't make sense.
Okay.
So roll me the 2d8 plus your architecture plus your wisdom.
Okay. 7, 6, 13, 14. 14.
Yeah. You now that you've been in the city for a little while, you can kind of start to see that it's not entirely random. There are definitely equations at work. They're just not equations that are you would think of
familiar.
On your own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you're kind of making your way. You've come upon the spire, which is another big circular clearing, much like the one that the pit was in.
Okay.
And that was kind of what I was saying about how there's patterns. You see these big things for wherever there's something of utility, and then there's just these other buildings.
Okay.
So there's clearly logic here. It's just not human logic.
Right.
So you come upon the spire, and you see that you see it's exactly what you thought it was. Where it's just a big crystalline tower with on these 3 big tripod legs.
Okay.
And it's kind of glowing at the top of it.
Sure.
So when you get there, you are greeted by You get there just in time to be greeted by the queen of this, thing. This thing. And it's I'm not going to let you destroy our home.
Is she, insectoid?
Yeah. What she is a giant floating, millipede. A house millipede. Yeah.
Okay.
And she's got arms.
Okay.
She's a millipede with arms.
Right.
And she's we crashed here by mistake, and we're making this our home. So I'm not going to let you take it away.
Oh, man. I can't let her do that. I gotta stop her. She's terrorizing people. We gotta fix this. I gotta take her out.
Okay. Write down her stuff. Okay. So, like I said, you are the hero, so you get to go first.
All right. What's my surroundings? Is it kind of like a plaza or something around it? What's surrounding this?
You're not in the plot, in the clearing yet. You're still there. You're in between 2 buildings, one of which goes almost like a column, but stops here.
Okay.
Which is helpful for a podcast because I'm making arm gestures, but it's fine. I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
And the other one, it kind of covers up, so you've got a little bit of cover, but it's also going to be a little tricky to really make a forward movement. You're going to have to be a little bit clever in how you approach her in the next move.
And she's in front of me?
Yeah.
Okay, and these columns are to
She's
the
kind
side.
of floating indiscriminately in front of you, between you and the spire, which is about 200 feet. So she's about 100 feet.
Okay.
And the thing is that you're hearing her in your head.
Okay.
She's not her mouth isn't moving because she's just got weird insect mouth, but you're hearing her in your head.
Gotcha. I feel like I could go classic Lothorpe maneuver and just try to run up something and jump and attack.
All right, make that skill roll with the 2d8.
Okay.
Plus your dexterity and the prison fighter. And this one is going to be
7, 11.
Okay, that you meet her halfway. She saw the fight earlier, so she knew what you were doing. So you can make your attack roll and add a little bit of damage, but but in doing so, you're gonna lock into personal combat with her.
Okay. So roll this d20.
Yeah.
5, not good. What am I adding? Attack bonus?
Your attack bonus, your strength bonus,
6,
and I'm going to say your prison fighter for this maneuver.
Okay, 11.
Okay, 11. You do not hit her.
Okay.
Yeah. She grabs you with one of her arms and just brings the other one to jab at you with a big long 3-foot claw out of her finger to jab into your chest.
Okay.
So she's going to make an attack on you. She rolls very badly. She gets a 9 plus your armor class is 5?
5.
Alright, she does not hit you, so she does that, and your shield just, like, meets it.
Okay.
And you, like, push it back, and there's that great shot of, like, and you, like, throw her hand aside, and now you can make your next move.
Okay. I'm just going to go for, like, a classic swipe and just see
if
I can get something.
Yeah, so you're in her hand, so if you swipe this one and deal damage, you'll, like, cut her hand off and go to the ground.
All right. So roll this d20. 8 plus attack 9, strength 11, and this pit fighter move?
Just the 11, because you're not doing a crazy move this time.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so 11 also does not hit. She is a beastly thing, and your sword is just bouncing off of her like chitin hide.
Okay.
So she lets out like a scream.
Okay.
That just like rattles your insides.
Okay.
That's going to be her attack. You are unshaken by this scream. Now, I am going to trade out this dice because this is not rolling.
That's a weighted die, that's why.
So I'm going to take this one.
All right.
That one's not helping me out in this fight.
All right.
One way or another, we got to end this.
So I feel like I want to, like, get a better shot. I feel like I'm not doing any damage to the body. I gotta go up. So I want to climb up her body.
Okay.
Using her many appendages.
Yeah. So make me a skill roll with your strength and pit fighter.
Okay.
So that's the 2d8.
These two.
Yeah.
8.
She's going to oppose that. So you need a 13.
So what do I do? The roll?
Plus your strength, plus your pit fighter.
13.
Okay, you exactly get it. So
cool.
you pull her claws out and like jump up and you run up. So you can make an attack and I'm going to bump up her armor, drop her armor class considerably.
Okay.
So as you stab like the soft spot of her neck.
12.
You perfectly get it. So roll me that d8 and add your roll me 1d8 and add your strength bonus.
5, 7.
So that is 2 damage.
Cool.
Yeah, you stab your sword into her neck, and she screams, and she throws you off, and you roll to the ground with your sword in hand as she thrashes about, and she is going to try to ram into you, like, full scale, just headbutt the shit out of you.
Okay.
As she rolls, she definitely hits you. So, yeah. Can I have those 2d8?
Yeah.
So, 7... is 2, so 4, so take 3 damage.
Okay.
So I think you're down to 5. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a pretty nasty hit. You ram into the spire and you feel it start to like wobble. That's sort of how fragile its like hold is.
Okay.
So really you have 2 strategies you can kind of pursue here. You can keep fighting her or you can target the spire. It's really your call as to what you want to do on your turn.
I'm going to taunt her.
Okay.
So that she tries to come after me and maybe dodge so she winds up hitting the spire.
That makes a lot of sense. So roll me just like we did earlier, the charisma plus your pit fighter to taunt her.
Okay, so both of these?
Yeah.
Okay. 9, no charisma, pit fighter 12.
12? Okay, you've definitely taunted her. Now the question is, I'm going to make her attack roll and see if she hits the spire.
Okay.
She definitely hits the spire.
Okay.
And one of the legs collapses and it starts to fall. And you know that pulsing I described earlier?
Mm-hmm.
That just like goes haywire and the whole thing starts to like, buildings start to crumble, but they also kind of start to melt a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And like things are now glowing and she's like, that wasn't supposed to happen. That wasn't supposed to happen. This is bad. And she, like, turns to you and she's like, at least I'm gonna murder you, if nothing else. So she turns back to you, so now it is your turn again. As this city is, like, going haywire around.
I'm gonna make a sprint for that other tripod leg and try to, like, cut that out.
Okay, yeah, make me an attack roll.
So that's 20.
Yeah, and add your strength, attack bonus, and the pit fighter for the stun.
15, 17, 20.
Oh, yeah, you absolutely do.
Okay,
you absolutely, like, take it out. And I'm going to roll a d10. Yeah, I think that you take her out. I think that the thing falls directly on her.
Nice.
And, like, crushes her. But now the real challenge begins of you need to figure out how to get out of the city.
Okay.
As the city itself is starting to... Everything has stopped making sense.
Okay.
And things are now actively, like, flying towards the spire, almost like it's like a collapsing singularity thing.
Okay, alright. So I just need to make a mean break.
Yeah.
For the outside of the city.
Yeah.
Okay.
So roll me that skill roll to see if you can get out of
these
it.
or 2 of these?
2 of those. Okay. Plus your dexterity plus your pit fighter.
12 plus dexterity 1, 13, and pit fighter 16.
Okay, yeah, you make it a fair way towards the city. You make it actually, you're like ducking and weaving, things are flying back towards you, monsters are getting sucked into this vortex.
Nice.
You make it about back to the cave. The horse is gone.
Okay.
As you get up and you see the horse just like go past you and you're like, oh, that's not good.
Get sucked up.
You're like, horse! You make it back about to where you were earlier, but you see now that the city has stretched on beyond that.
Okay.
So the last roll I'm gonna ask you to make is to just grab some, as like now the pull has gotten like extraordinary.
Okay.
Is to just grab onto something.
Okay.
And hold on.
Okay.
So roll me plus your strength and pit fighter, yeah.
Both of these?
Yeah.
18.
Yeah, you just barely got it.
Okay.
Like, the tree itself, like, is holding on by a single root that you're like, oh no! And, like, suddenly everything just falls over. And all the buildings that were left just crumble into dust. And
Okay.
it's just dust and ash for miles.
Damn,
You're
okay.
like, fuck. This is not good. So, like I said, I'm gonna roll a bunch of dice here.
Okay.
Because now you're walking back by foot. People are celebrating. Some people are, like, raising your hand as you walk by.
Yeah.
Others are, like, shoving you, like, you let my friends die, you dick. Okay, one encounter happens.
Okay.
This is going to be the closing note of the game.
Nice.
You're walking through just along this main road that kind of connects you to the town of AG. So you are almost home. You're about a day's trip out, and people have been giving you like food and things. Like they're like, this is all I have is this bushel of apples, and you're like, great, now I have to carry a bushel of apples.
Thank you for your thanks.
You're almost home when you are tackled by one last of these things, and it's like a smaller one, but it's like, now I can never go home. And it just tackles you. So roll me your attack roll. What's your move here? As it's like screaming at you about like, I can never go home.
I think I gotta level with him.
Okay.
And tell him that to build on other people's homes is not the answer.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Make me a skill roll.
Okay.
With your charisma. I'm gonna say pit fighter because that's a hard earned lesson.
Okay.
And also add 2 to that because that's real powerful.
Alright, so 8. I got no charisma, and then pit fighter thing will be 11.
Okay, yeah, it stares you down and it says that's easy for you to say, but what do I do? Like, what do I do now? What do I do now? I'm alone in this world.
I'm gonna level with him again and just be like, look,
Okay.
I'm an architecture aficionado. I know all about building and rebuilding, and sometimes you have to destroy everything to rebuild.
So you're saying I should destroy the world. Alright.
No, you're misunderstanding.
You're so wise, and it flies off. And that's sequel materials, what that is.
That dude, he's coming back.
Yeah, so you come back, and like that old nobleman is you walk in his office, and he's like, I don't know how you did it. We kind of just figured, you'd go in there, you'd become their champion for a while, you'd beat a few guys up, we'd bide ourselves some time, but I mean, shit. Thank you. And he tosses you like a nice sized satchel of gold coins.
Okay, cool.
And he's like, alright, now here's where the real job comes in, and he reaches for a folder as we cut to black.
Oh no!
And that's
I didn't even get my horse!
Well, you look in the bag, and first and foremost, you find the keys to a horse.
Jackpot.
And that's Scarlet Heroes.
I love it.
That was super fun.
Dude, that was great.
That was really cool. I like that.
Are they all
a lot.
designed to be like quick like that? Like kind of like
They can be.
speedy-ish?
If they can be. They can be like an ongoing thing that lasts many, many hours, or they can be a quick little one-shot thing.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
Yeah, it really depends on what you want out of it. Like, it's real flexible.
That's awesome. So can I like peel back the curtain like a little bit?
Yeah,
so, So what do you have like in front of you that kind of like, are you just kind of making all this up, or is this like a campaign you designed?
Was all off the cuff.
Oh, cool.
Like once you said you were an architecture aficionado, I was like, okay, then I think the plan has to be some sort of building that pops out of nowhere.
That's
I thought
awesome.
that was cool because I thought that was like a cool
really
concept. Cool. And then from there, it was just like, okay, well, then they're going to be like cosmic nightmare things.
Yeah.
And I just tried to make them as creepy as possible.
That's perfect. I love it.
And then when you said that you were a prison pit fighter, I was like, well, definitely we have to have like the Rambo moment where you're like, the mission's over.
Yeah.
So I knew I had to put that guy in somewhere.
That's awesome.
So it was really just at that point I was like, all right, so Rambo has to go into this weird city. Done.
That's perfect. Dude, that's cool, man. I love it.
So that was
a lot of fun.
That was
I've never
super
played
fun.
D&D before, and I think it's something I would have liked, or I would like, because I heard about it like when I was younger. I was really into like trading card games. I was telling you a little bit about like playing Magic and stuff. But yeah, I remember someone telling me about like his like D&D campaign, and he was like, oh yeah, my character I've been playing just like lost an arm recently. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, how do you deal with that? Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, man, I've been playing D&D I was just talking to somebody for a podcast about it recently, and I realized I've been playing for 20 years.
That's awesome.
Like,
damn, that's cool.
I got into it when I was 8 because we found a book at a yard sale.
Whoa,
And
really?
I thought, because I was really into video game role-playing games when I was young, like 3, 4, 5 years old. And we found this book, and we thought it was like a video game. We thought it was the guidebook for a video game. And I was like, I don't know this video game, but I'm going to read it.
That's cool.
And we reread it, and it made no sense to us.
Yeah.
But we were like, I guess we got to figure out what this is.
Dude,
since we
that's
spent
awesome.
$2 on it.
So have you been playing like the same campaign, or
No,
multiple
just
ones?
just different things on and
Okay.
off. Yeah, like it's been. I mean, yeah, but
That's awesome.
it was. Yeah, it's been a wild ride.
Dude, I love it. I want to do more of this. This is cool.
Oh, well, anytime you want to come back.
Yeah,
I'll have
seriously.
you on the show.
Yeah,
It's
that'd be awesome.
Oh, man. Nick Murphy, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Yeah, anytime, man. Thank you for having me. This was hella fun.
I'm so glad to hear that. I get so happy when I hear people say that they had a good time.
Yeah, super fun.
So real quick, social media plugs. On Twitter, hey Nick Murphy.
Yeah, hey Nick Murphy
Murphy.
on Twitter. That's probably the best place. You can find me and my stuff.
Cool. Well, I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show. Take it, future me.
Thanks, Past Me. And thanks again to Nick for coming onto the show. That was amazing. I loved it. Be sure to check out Continue on YouTube and follow Nick on Twitter at Hey Nick Murphy. And while you're on Twitter, follow this show at Party of One Pod. Then head over to Facebook and like the show at facebook.com/Party of One Podcast. And if you loved the show, consider telling a friend, whether via writing a nice iTunes review, showing some love on social media, or, telling a friend. Helping new people discover the show enables us to do cooler, bigger, and better things, and I deeply appreciate it. Interested in coming onto the show? Shoot me an email at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. I am always looking for cool new people to play cool new games with. Party of One is produced by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. This episode edited by Jen Frank. All music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Ran, featuring the D&D Sluggers. Until next time, party people, thanks for listening, and remember, this is an imaginary story, but then again, aren't they all?